excited to bring a group of women together and get to dig into this topic. And so one of the things we were really excited to focus on was being able to identify some of the challenges that are unique to women who are early in their careers and early in leadership roles, but then also for women who identify as being more mid-career or having larger amounts of leadership experience, being able to have those women provide some support to younger leaders in the room, but then also get some context for how to support young leaders within your own organization and what some ways might be to help women get through some of the hurdles that they're having early on in their careers. So we've organized everyone into small groups. So we're going to do kind of brief introduction in a moment so we can get a sense of who's in the room. And then we're going to be doing a combination of small group discussions, breaking back out to the larger room to share, and then doing some individual work. So we have a short period of time together, and so Katrina and I are here to help facilitate. Katrina Simpson, who's our facilitator here in the room. And then Kathy Bryan has generously let me use her chime, so you'll hear that chiming noise when it's time to bring the smaller groups back to the larger room. So first, to get a sense of who's in the room, because I got a lovely demographic layout of who's here today, but so that way everyone else knows, it would be great to have everyone stand when I name the particular area of industry that you are from. So who is here from the education field? Thank you. What about those from financial services? Wonderful. What about healthcare or the health field? Hospitality. Welcome. Manufacturing. Thank you. Media or marketing? Nonprofit sector? Welcome. Professional services? Retail? Students. And then anyone from the automotive industry? Wonderful. And then I know we have a variety of people from different stages, either early in their career, mid, or with larger amounts of leadership experience. So who in the room would identify as being early in their career in leadership? Thank you. Who would identify as being in their mid-career? Everyone's so smart. Wonderful, thank you. And then does anyone identify as being later in their career having a larger amount of leadership experience? Wonderful, thank you all so much. So to get started today, we wanted to start from a place, kind of the way the conference is laid out, starting from a place of inspiration. And so what we're hoping to do is have everyone within their small groups, each after everyone introduces themselves, I'm sure you have already, but just your name and the organization you're from. If everyone wants to just share out for 1 or 2 minutes in your small groups, a moment either if you're early in your career, a moment that you've experienced, or reflecting back to earlier in your career, a moment where you felt inspired or empowered or worked through a challenge that you were struggling through and did so successfully and were excited about it. So if everyone could just take about 10 minutes and have each person share out and just talk through some of those inspiring moments, and then we'll come back together and share a few of those with the larger group. Stop the conversations. I have a feeling, honestly, anytime we're pulling everyone back from the small group conversations, it's going to be cutting something short, so I am sorry. But I'm curious, as everyone was sharing out, did anyone notice any themes within your group for what was being shared? Or anything in particular that just really struck you?
A lot of things centered around respect.
Respect?
A lot of it was women inspiring other women.
There's a lot of our inspiration coming from our peers and women around us. Wonderful.
Does anyone have a particular story they'd like to share?
I actually want to answer the previous question. women in general make huge sacrifices because they believe it's the right thing to do, even if it means giving up on their dream. That's very touching.
Thank you so much for sharing this today. That's such a beautiful insight. Thank you. And so thank you all for participating now. We want to start from a place of inspiration as we now move into reflecting and digging into some of the personal challenges that we may be currently facing. So what I'm hoping to do is if everyone wants to just take about 5 minutes to just personally reflect on something that's in front of you that's a challenge right now, that is either holding you back from taking that next step or something that you perceive that you're going to need to be able to be in that next leadership role or within your current position, or if you're thinking about the young women that you work with and you're supporting, what is something that is a challenge for you being able to work with and support those young women in building their capacity. So if everyone should just take a few minutes to reflect on that, and then we'll bring the group back together and start to brainstorm and maybe provide some strategies and suggestions within our own small groups. So please feel free to just think and reflect, and then we'll bring everyone back together. So building upon the conference's theme of really leaving today with tangible products or next steps or what you're going to be able to do to achieve, we wanted to have the opportunity to really not only identify challenges and dig into them, but come up with what those next steps might be. And so we have a really basic form we've drafted that Katrina and I are going to get out to all the groups, so you can begin to look at what that challenge is, what barriers might be in your way, and if you were to take a first step, when would you take that step and what would that step look like? And so if it's helpful to do that individually, if it's helpful to process that with your group, or potentially pair off, whatever's the best way for you to structure that, please feel free. Just to give a prompt, when I was looking at this and trying to identify especially what scares me about my future leadership role, I know that I feel really confident in my leadership roles outside of my organization. So committees or coalitions or policy work that I do, I feel very confident leading and taking on that role. But it's within my organization as one of our managers and supervisors that I really struggle. And so for me, if I look at my career and where I'd like to get and the type of leader I'd like to be, my big challenge is how to effectively supervise those that I work with long term. And so, as I was going through this, that's going to be my big challenge is what is my first step going to be and when am I going to do it? Because like our keynote speaker was saying, it's very easy to let that first step maybe pass us by and happen a year from now or 3 years from now, or maybe not happen at all. And so we're going to go ahead and pass these out to everyone and let everyone dig into this a little bit deeper. So I just want to thank everyone for being so transparent and sharing with one another and sharing your experiences and helping everyone dig through the challenges that they've identified. And we hope that everyone has been able to think about and identify something they'd like to focus on and hopefully have a first step for what it would look like to move forward with that. And we just would like to encourage you to keep that in mind throughout the day as you move through sessions and hear the rest of the keynotes during the day. And the Women's Leadership Conference does have a great presence on social media, so if connecting through LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter is a great way to move this conversation forward, or also just sharing contact information with those that you've been having these discussions with, so that way everyone can keep moving forward on what they've started today.